Candy is a holistic health and wellness coach. She's an author. She's an influencer on how to maintain a healthy lifestyle and on diversity and inclusion in the wellness space. So, very excited to have you with us today, Candy. Welcome and go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited. I was glued to the screen just watching all this, skincare tips. I am obviously a fan, and I'm just so excited to be sharing some of my knowledge and being able to pour into this amazing community of image skincare. And of course, no wellness conversation would have been complete if we don't address some of the core health and wellness and well-being topics that are ruling our lives right now. And of course, the conversation around our brain, our health, and the connection between our gut health and all the illnesses that we're seeing right now in our daily lives is so important because we are called to be more mindful about prevention instead of reaction, right? And I know we've mentioned here before and in the conversation, it's all about prevention, right? The same way we take care of our skin, the same way we put all this amazing creams and we want to make sure that our skin is glowing the same way we want to take care of our well-being. And being that our brain is one of the, if not the most important organ in our body, I think that it's very important that we have this conversation. And for those of you who have never seen me before, and if this is the first time that you're seeing me, my name is Candy Calderon. I am a holistic health and wellness coach and certified brain health professional, which means that my passion and my career is devoted to help you and people like you to optimize their brain, optimize their sleep quality so you can really reclaim your well-being. If you're not sleeping well, if your brain is not functioning properly, there's no way we can be thriving in life. It's so important. And I want us to really take a little bit of time and just the time that you took to be here to enroll in this class and be part of the summit that was made with so much love by the team of Image Skincare. Please be present with us. Take a lot of notes. We want to see you guys posting all over social media this amazing event and the wisdom nuggets that you are learning. So stay with us. If you are like me, that you have several tabs open all over the place, close them down and stay with us because I am going to share some of my best practices so you can take care of your brain and prevent. And even if you feel that some of the things that I am going to share with you, you feel like I am experiencing those things right now, you always have time to heal and to reverse many of the things that we're going to share. Now, I've been working in the wellness space for more than 10 years. I've coached thousands of people already, and my passion is working with high performers and professionals, leaders of impact who are ready to prioritize their well-being because we know that in order for us to continue thriving and the amazing life that we have and that we want and that many of us have created for all of us, we have to be personally sustainable. And my areas of expertise, of course, as I mentioned, is brain health, gut health, and prevention in general. So I am excited to be here. And if you're ready, take your notes, take your pens, take your pads, and let's get to it. I will share a little bit of my screen here. And because I prepare a brief presentation for you. Before I go in, I want to say that I am one of the reasons why we're doing this, of course, is because August is National Wellness Month. And for people like me in the wellness space, professionals in the wellness space, Wellness month is every month, right? But there's always like a special reason, and it feels so good to have a month where we go all in and do activations like this and events like this. So that's why I'm so grateful to Image Skincare for hosting this event, hosting for all of you, and inviting me to be part of it. We have amazing giveaways, being part of it. The other all amazing speakers and wellness experts, of course, that are part of the summit. So you are in for a treat, not only for this session, but for all the sessions. So make sure to stay tuned until the end, okay? Now, let me share my screen super quick. And I wanna make sure that you are being able to see this. Let me know in the chat if you are able to see this, and we are more than ready to start. And of course, as I mentioned, for us, it's so important that we not only acknowledge that this is a National Wellness Month, but also the effort. And the fact that you're here tells me that you are ready to prioritize your well-being, right? That glow comes from the inside out. And our body is a perfect machine that once we pour into it, what the perfect nutrition, when they're not perfect, perfection doesn't exist, but do the best you can with what you have and make it work for you. So I'm here to give you some pointers so you can start taking care of your brain, to optimize so you can live the life that you're meant to, that you deserve, an amazing, thriving, wonderful life. And of course, these some housekeeping tips, I already went over them and introduced myself. If you have any questions while I share some of these slides, please don't hesitate to drop them in the chat. I'll be more than happy if we have time at the end of the session to cover those. And if not, of course, I encourage you to stay connected with me on social media. You'll find me on all social media as Candy Calderon, in Instagram, Candy Calderon _. Now, let's get into it because I'm here to serve you. Why brain health matters? Why is so important? And also, what's the difference between brain health and mental health? Two very different things. As I mentioned, our brain is the most, if not the most important organ in our body. It's literally involved in absolutely everything you do. Everything. It determines how you feel, how you act, how well you get along with people. It determines the person you are, the person you will be, and it moves around every part of your life. And the thing is that we not necessarily think about our brain in that aspect because it is something that it's not so visible for us in terms of the way we function, right? So, but that's why it's so important. And for me, it's so important to identify also the difference between brain health and mental health, because one affects the other. If our brain per se as a organ is not optimized, our mental health will suffer. And our mental health has a lot to do more with emotions, of course, part of our biology, societal aspects, but it's very tied to the health and the quality of our brain, okay? Now, as I mentioned, our brain, it's the organ that handles your personality, character, intelligence, is heavily involved in making you who you are. This quote is not mine, it's by one of my mentors and the person who has guided me in my career into the brain optimization and brain health, which is Dr. Daniel Amen. Maybe some of you know him. He's an eminence and he has devoted years and years to the brain health development optimization, and to share his knowledge so we can really heal our communities and heal our society. So I wanted to give you that aspect because it's so important to clarify the difference between brain health and mental health and why it matters. It literally is the most important organ of our body and it rules our lives. If you are with me, type 1 in the chat. I'm not sure if the chat is available, but if not, I hope you're with me and we are going into the good stuff writing, because I also want to tell you, I want to ask you a few questions. If we can pop in the first poll question, because I also want to hear about you, my good friends in Image Skincare. So the first question is, which ways would your life change if you had more energy, better focus, and feel more rested? You can choose whichever resonates more with you. I am going to wait a few seconds and wait to see your answers. Which ways will your life change if you had more energy, focus, and feel well rested? Okay, let's see the results for that first question. Yes, I can be more productive at work and at home. Got the lead. I will manage stress better. In second, experience more happiness. Who does not want more happiness? We all want more happiness. Part of being here in the summit, part of the reason Image Skincare is doing the summit is because we want you to be happy and live your best life. So it doesn't surprise me to see these results. Experience more well-being, well-rounded, of course. In well-being, we can also include happiness. We can include being less stressed. Perfect. And I can be more present. The best gift you can give yourself is the gift of being present. You see that play with words? It is not a coincidence. Perfect. Let's launch the second question. What would you be doing? How would you be living right now if you felt better with that energy that you said you want, with that focus and well rested? There's some options there for you. Let's see how your answers are going. We can share the results now. Of course, also doesn't surprise me. Spend more time, more quality time with my loved ones. We are especially coming out of this pandemic. We're still very much in it, but coming out of this pandemic, we crave connection. So it doesn't surprise me, this one, and having more and then do more physical activities, that energy, it doesn't surprise me. These are the got the biggest scores. Of course, enjoy quality of sleep. Who does not like to sleep and sleep well? That good at 8 hours that you feel so rested, like you can take the world with you. It feels so good. And so many of us, unfortunately, do not know what that feels like. Okay, but we're going to talk about it in a second. And be more intentionally in my own life. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing those with me. I hope it gave you a little bit of grounding in terms of why we're doing this, why we're hosting the Wellness Summit, and why I am so passionate about setting you for the right journey in terms of starting being more preventive instead of reactive. Now, I want to also ask you some questions that will be for self-reflection. Those questions you don't have to answer to myself, answer here or in the chat. Those are for self-reflection, okay? Do you find yourself often, or do you feel that it has happened in the past, that you start to forget things, right? You start to forget important events like appointments, social engagements, birthday dates, important things that in the past you've never, ever forgotten before. Have trouble sleeping, we just mentioned that. And not only falling asleep, but staying asleep, which is so important. Maybe you're losing your train of thought or the thread of conversations or the books or movies that you have seen before. You feel increasingly overwhelmed by making decisions, planning steps, or accomplishing things that you want to accomplish in your life. You start having trouble finding your way around familiar environments, places you've been before that you should, and you know that you should know your way around or not feel confused by it. Maybe you feel more impulsive or show increasingly poor judgment. That happens a lot sometimes to some of us. Or your family and friends notice some of those changes, right? That can be a symptom or your body showing you and telling you that there's some cognitive decline. And we have to learn how to listen to our body, because cognitive decline doesn't happen from one day to another, right? It doesn't happen from one day to another. It's so important that we learn to understand that, and why it's so important that we take care of our brain and we try to prevent as much as we can cognitive decline, because there are certain disorders that can definitely be traumatizing and so frustrating to go through, not only for the person who experienced it, but for our loved ones. And I hope none of you have experienced this or have a loved one go through, but these are some of the most known: Alzheimer's disease, attention deficit disorders, Parkinson, dementia, early onset dementia, chemotherapy-related cognitive impairment, which we call chemo brain. One of the reasons why I got into the wellness space, it's because of my own family's cancer history. My grandfather died of cancer. 2 of my aunts died of cancer. My mom had breast cancer. And that's when I knew that I want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And I went full blown into the wellness space to help change the health legacy of every person that I could touch with my knowledge. And part of it's because I saw my own mom going through chemo and the effects of chemo in her body, especially for us, for women and breast cancer survivors, the effects of chemo on our cognitive, on our brain health. It's so saddening, okay? Paranoia, psychosis, schizophrenia, there's so many things, but I want to focus on the good parts. And it's also teaching you the things that you can do to prevent that, or even to start healing. The first part is taking care of our gut, okay? Gut health is extremely important. It's one of the most important, because we have 2 brains. It's obviously our first brain, what we think and we know and we call our first brain, and our second brain, which is actually our gut. Okay, if we don't have a healthy gut, we cannot have a healthy brain, because they feed off each other. That's what we call the brain gut axis, right? It's the connection between the gut and the brain, how they cohabitate, communicate, and how they feed off each other, and how if one is unhealthy, the other cannot be unhealthy and cannot be healthy, and vice versa. So how do they connect, and what can we do to keep them both healthy, which is the good part, right? That's why you're here. And that's the part that I really want to teach you. The reason, as I mentioned, is because it's all connected, right? We have more than 100 million neurons housed within the walls of our intestines. The mass majority of serotonin, which is the happy hormone, that's what we call it, the happy hormone, that regulates our mood, our sleep. And that's why you see people who does not have a healthy gut typically are more inclined to suffer from emotional distress, anxiety, depression, and any of these mood disorders, because our gut is not healthy and cannot produce enough serotonin, which is actually produced in our gut, right? So everything is connected. And remember, because we're going to talk about it in a few seconds, the brain and gut axis is super important. Now, a part where many of us get a little bit confused, and I want to clarify that, is what is the gut, right? Because some of us sometimes don't have enough, we don't know exactly what's the gut, and we just think that it's part of our intestines or the lower part of our stomach. So I want to clarify what is the gut. So it includes every organ, every part of your body that is involved in digesting food and processing it into waste, right? So it starts as early as your tongue, and it includes your esophagus, stomach, small and large intestines, the gallbladder, the liver, and the pancreas. How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that your gut, it's all of these organs included? So I know that, and this is always very surprising for so many of you, because sometimes we feel that our gut is just part of our intestines or the lower part of our stomach. So all of this is part of our gut. What can we do to help improve the health of our gut and therefore our brain? Now, let me go here. So these are ways we can support our brain. I want you to start thinking about the things that you feed your brain. Remember, your body is a perfect vehicle, is your vehicle of life. We will love to feed our vehicle of life with nutritious food that supports the health and wellness goals that we have. And we're going to talk in a minute, in just a second, about which type of foods I would love for you to feed your body. I would love for you to start moving your body consciously. Now, I'm not asking you to become an athlete, but I'm asking you to move your body in a way that is more conscious, right? 15, 20 minutes per day, consciously moving your body in a way that pumps your heart rate, right? And you feel a little bit the stress in terms of pushing your body a little bit and your heart rate. So it feels like an exercise, and you can do it in a way that you enjoy it, in a way that it feels satisfying for you. It can be dancing. If you like dancing, you can do Zumba, or if you're more chill, you can do yoga, Pilates. You can walk around the neighborhood. If you have a dog or if you have a baby, just push your stroller. There's so many ways. You don't have to become an athlete. You don't have to go and do these crazy routines. Do what works for you. And of course, I mentioned quality sleep. We cannot, when we are sleep deprived, there's nothing we can do to function properly. And lack of sleep deprives your brain of oxygen. It's so important, and I cannot stress this enough. It's so important that we think about not only the amount of hours, but the quality of our sleep. One of also the reasons why I decided to specialize in brain health and sleep quality is because for the longest time, and I know that many of you this will resonate with you, as a business owner, a founder, always chasing success and wanting to be on top of the mountain. I sacrificed a lot my sleep for my success. And sometimes I even took pride on the little amount of hours that I slept, because I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? And for me, I even took pride on it. And what I didn't realize is how it was affecting my brain, aging my brain, and pushing me towards cognitive decline, to the point that I started experiencing mental fog, like I couldn't function properly. That also ramificated in a lot of unfortunate decisions that I took in my business, because my brain was not functioning properly. If you are not sleeping well, you cannot function properly. Quality of sleep is so important. Stop poisoning your brain the same way. Now, please don't hate me. This is the part that is very controversial. And of course, I, being Latina, I love my cafecito as the next person, but sometimes we drink and we take and we ingest a lot of foods and drinks that really poison our brains. Coffee, alcohol, anything that impairs our body and the function of our brain has a negative effect on our brain. So the same way we want to feed nutritious foods, we want to also try to eliminate the things that are poisoning our brain. Exercise our brain. I'm going to show you a few exercises that we can do together and that you can do on your own, very fun. And of course, practice mindfulness. And what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is just the act of being present intentionally. Remember, I asked you at the beginning of the session, please be present, be here. You already invested your time, you registered for the summit, be present. Again, that's the best gift you can give yourself, to be in the moment, intentionally make a decision to be in the present. And practice mindfulness sometimes feels like walking barefoot in the grass if you have a patio, or meditating, which we will do a very short but sweet meditation in just a few seconds. Now, to give you some pointers and things you can take with you at home, while being respectful, of course, of the time that we have here, I want to share with you some of my favorite foods for brain health. Definitely, I want you to start consuming. I don't know each one of you what's your dietary restrictions that you have, or the type of foods that you eat, but in general, assuming that you don't have any dietary restrictions, fatty fish with lots of omegas. I love them. Omegas are so important, and they're fatty acids that our brain actually uses to develop brain and nerve cells, which we need for memory and for our brain to stay sharp. Delicious salmon. You can do it in the air fryer. You can do it in the oven. There's so many delicious ways, healthy ways you can do your favorite fatty fish. Mine is salmon. Of course, hydration. A body that is dehydrated is a body that cannot function properly. If your body is dehydrated, your brain is dehydrated, and that is a no. Okay, so always a lot of water is a major key for your brain function. Fermented foods. I love fermented foods. I hope you do too. I always try to have a spoonful of sauerkraut at the end of the day before I go to bed. All fermented foods are full in probiotics, which is actually good. Sometimes we're afraid of bacteria. So good bacteria is important, right? So their fermented foods are full of good bacteria, which we need for a healthy gut. Lots of fiber. It helps you to be more regular to the bathroom. Hopefully, I hope you're having 2 to 3 bowel movements per day. The way we detox is through our feces, our sweat, our pee, and we need fiber and we need hydration for all of that. Okay, super important that you keep fiber in your daily diet. And when I say diet, is the food you ingest, not diet as a restriction. Healthy fats, again, super important part of our day. And if you feel like life gets in the middle and maybe you're not having a nutrition, or your food is not as nutritious as possible as you could or you should, because life gets in the middle. So I would say, yes, supplement with a good probiotic, because I am all for getting the nutrients we can from Mother Nature, but I also understand that life gets in the middle. So don't be afraid to supplement, get a good supplement, talk to your doctor, health physician, and get a good probiotic to cover your bases. Now, a few brain exercises that you can start doing at home real quick. It's crosswords. I know many of you here have done it. My grandma, God bless her soul, did it all the time, and she was the sharpest old lady. And I always envy that. She was so sharp and so witty, and she always did crosswords. You can do all puzzles, of course. Sudoku. You can do any type of game brains that are visual and will challenge your skills in new ways, will increase your brain power. This type of games require that you put in place multiple cognitive abilities that will challenge your brain and improve processing speed and memory. So start playing, get in touch with your inner child again, and start implementing all of this as soon as you can. And it's fun. Also, super fun dancing. I told you all about dancing, and I told you all about doing exercises and movement. Dancing is super good for our brain, especially if you're learning a full-blown routine, right? That you're forcing your brain to learn new things. And speaking about learning new things, learning a new language, or maybe writing with your non-dominant hand. That will force your brain to access different areas that you do normally don't do, and will make your brain stronger. So these are some exercises. And now that we are almost at the end of our conversation, I wanted to close this with a short and strong meditation. And I want you to close your eyes so we can finish this session grounded and grateful for the amazing work in this platform that have been provided for us thanks to Image Skincare. I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath through your nose. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. And a deep breath. And release. And I want you to release everything that is holding you down. I want you to release every worry. You can put your sword down. And I want you to start envisioning, how would your life look like if you're living your best life? The version of yourself that you have dreamed so much and that you know you're capable of being. I want you to sit in front of that version of yourself and greet them like old friends. Invite them to join you, because you together are walking this journey, and you got this. You're grateful. And that best version of yourself, it's already here. It's you. Take a deep breath and release. Another deep breath and release. And I want you to remember that your brain is plastic. You have the power at any age to start healing your brain. You have the power to be better, to be healthier, to be more capable, and to create the life of your dreams. It is your birthright. You got this. I hope you enjoy that, and that beautiful close to what I hope was a session that poured into you and that you can walk away with actionable steps. We have, thanks to Image Skincare, an amazing giveaway. They have been so gracious to add to what I already had in my giveaway. We are selecting, right, Jacqueline? We're selecting 3 winners that will be lucky to be part of one of my bestseller programs, Mindfulness for High Achievers, and also 1 month free to my membership the cohort that will launch in the fall. So Jacqueline will select the winners along with, and I know we have more things coming up. Please stay until the end of the sessions. We have more in the summit. I am so grateful. You can connect with me at Candy Calderon _ on Instagram and on all social media, LinkedIn. You can find me Candy Calderon or Candy Calderon _ I am so grateful for being here and for you holding space for me. Thank you so much.
I'm so relaxed after that meditation. So I hope I say all of these names correct. And I've already found you on Instagram, and I'm already following you for more content because I absolutely love that. And I love that association with your brain and your gut. And I did not know all those different parts. So I have enough gut candy. So this next person hopefully is going to help me get rid of my gut.
Let's get be healthy. Let's get be healthy.
Yes. But first, let's do our amazing giveaway. So 2 giveaways from Miss Candy. As she said, It's going to be the access to her bestseller and sought after course, Mindfulness for High Performers, plus 1 month membership to her private wellness program for leaders of impact, executive CEO wellness club. And this is the October session. So you have a little bit of time to get ready for that. So the two winners are Carolina Di Giacomo. So congratulations. And then also Connie Chip. So yay to those ladies. Congratulations. You will be hearing from our global events team, and they will be letting you know how to go ahead and collect your prize. And then from Image Skincare, of course, we want you to have beautiful glowing skin as you are going on this journey. So you're going to get our MD Restoring Power C serum, our Prevention Plus primer, and our Aromatic Balancing Lip Enhancement Complex. And that is going to be Destiny Lavara. So congratulations to absolutely everybody. And again, our global events team. So look for an email from our global events team, and they are going to reach out to you on how to collect your prize. So
Thank you,
of,
Jacqueline.
thank you, Candy.